We'll begin with the monthly presentation of student achievement, and we're welcoming Fisk School here tonight, so we're happy to have you. And Mrs. Palmer, will you set that up?
Yes, thank you very much, Mrs. Corbett. Welcome to everyone and to the Fisk School community who's with us this evening. As you know, we have a district program that began this year. It is housed at Fisk School, and it's become a very special program to those at Fisk, and I'm very excited for them to present this evening. The program has a population of students that will be described when they present to you, and the program is called ABC. They'll also identify what that acronym means when they speak. So I'll introduce Mr. Murray to begin.
Thank you, Mrs. Palmer, and thank you for welcoming us tonight. Our annual presentation on student achievement is a big deal. As you can see from our turnout, we enjoy showing the board the many accomplishments that are happening at Fisk, but also the opportunity to show our appreciation to you, our school board members, for your continued support. Tonight we will share our ABC program and some of our accomplishments thus far. Mr. Rose will share his written essay on the beauty of integration and the benefits of having a program like this in a school. Allison Plant, our special programming coordinator, will provide you with an overview of the program to this point and to our vision moving forward. You'll see a video providing some of the insights of the program, the students and the staffing that are making this program successful. At the conclusion, Mrs. Plant, Mrs. Bentley, Ms. Emery, and I will be available for questions. And now, Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Hello, friends, and happy Valentine's Eve. Thank you for hosting us. We really look forward to this annual visit and the chance to share good news from Fisk School. Last year, we introduced the Children's Stage Adventures Theater program to you, and we're very grateful for your encouragement. This spring's show is booked. The students' performance will be here in this beautiful venue on Friday, May 11th, and you're all invited. Tonight, my colleagues are here to provide you with a look at the district's new ABC classroom. Honestly, there's nothing that qualifies me to talk to you about special education. As far as I can tell, I'm mostly a habit at these visits, or eye candy maybe. Regardless, wasn't that funny? I'll give either role my best shot. The Salem School District enjoys and deserves plenty of positive coverage in local media. The excellent work of staff and students alike has been recognized with awards and grants, even donations of innovative tools that enhance kids' experiences in and outside the classroom. Salem's academic, arts, athletic, and CTE programs are among those that have been singled out for recognition. Much of the district's success is a result of an innovative spirit and its willingness to respond thoughtfully to constantly shifting needs. And although the feature of tonight's presentation may not be widely known outside of Fisk School, its existence is the fruit of efforts that have truly been district-wide. Like so many others here, I had the pleasure of watching Salem High School's production of The Sound of Music last week. Congratulations to all involved. What a fantastic show. As I read the credits and the thanks on the final page of the program, I was struck by the number and variety of business leaders, community members, parents, school administrators, teachers, and many more who generously gave whatever was needed to produce such impressive performances. So many people, so many gifts. Each of these folks contributed bits and pieces to the tapestry of talent that resulted in such a truly memorable show. The diverse strengths among the individuals enriched the whole. That's important to note. Consider for a moment a proud bit of New Hampshire's history. The first public school in New Hampshire opened on May 31st, 1649, in the town of Hampton. John Legat, the first recorded teacher in our great state, taught reading and writing to both boys and girls. The Act of 1647 stated that any town that had at least 50 households would need to hire a teacher. If there were 100 households, the town had to have an entire school or it would be fined. So for hundreds of years, New Hampshire citizens, like residents of towns and cities all over, have recognized the value of public schools and have generously provided the money and the resources to allow them to be effective. To stay true to their mission, publicly funded schools have expanded what they offer and to whom on a tremendous scale, and the benefits to communities grow in relation. Imagine the reactions of our ancestors if they could see the schools we enjoy today. They'd be astonished by the buildings, the technology, and the breadth of offerings. In truth, though, this centuries-long evolution has not been easy. The specter of exclusion sometimes dimmed the bright promise of universal education. But with the passage of time, it is thankfully now the norm that our schoolhouse doors are open to all, that the opportunity to an education is denied to no one. Surely a spirit of inclusion, a recognition of the inherent value of diversity, and the desire to meet the needs of as many Salem students as possible were factors in the development of the ABC program. This unique classroom offers specialized instruction for autism spectrum disorder, or ASD learners. As you will soon hear, the program enables kids to attend their community school, and better still, they spend time in a regular education classroom. The benefits to ASD students are many. The impact for their typical grade level peers is equally dramatic and positive. Max Dupree captured the essence of this type of delightful exchange. He said, "We need to give each other the space to grow, to be ourselves, to exercise our diversity. We need to give each other space so that we may both give and receive such beautiful things as ideas, openness, dignity, joy, healing, and inclusion." Every interaction with another person provides us with a chance to grow, to learn something. And as our circles widen, these opportunities increase. And learning develops knowledge. Nikki DeCaro said knowledge is the foundation for understanding, and understanding the catalyst for peace. Clearly then, it is good for all students to spend time with others who may not learn or see the world in exactly the same manner they do. Again, the experience of diversity enriches us all. Last month, during a school-wide assembly, I got a spontaneous and memorable look at the ABC program in action. Grade-level classroom teachers sat, as we often do, facing the audience of students. That arrangement put Chelsea Emery and Rita Sater directly in my line of sight. Over the course of 45 minutes, the powerfully quiet interactions with their students were nearly constant. They talked and whispered, they listened, they calmed and reassured. Laminated cards and a toy animal were among the tools that were used with subtle efficiency. Such effective use of various strategies and devices allowed these students to engage as members of the larger Fisk community during an enthusiastic celebration of accomplishment. How appropriate. Temple Grandin is a renowned author and animal scientist. She was the subject of an acclaimed HBO movie about her life, and she's written and spoken extensively about her own ASD diagnosis. The following quote comes from her kids' book, Calling All Minds, How to Think and Create Like an Inventor, which will be published in May. It's a terrific reminder of why the ABC program is so important. Grandin writes, "Autism is not one size fits all. The more we learn about the spectrum, the range of abilities and deficits an autistic person may have, the more we will truly understand the different kinds of minds and how important different kinds of thinkers are, especially where creativity, innovation, and invention are concerned." She continues, "I like to think of myself and other people who are different kinds of thinkers on a human spectrum. Though our brains may work in different ways, there are no limits to the contributions we can make. Who knows what wonders we may witness right here in Salem as the ABC program continues to provide uniquely wonderful kids with opportunities to succeed." Thank you. And Allison Plant, Special Programs Coordinator, is up next. She'll share some key information about autism spectrum disorder. Thank you.
Good evening. What does the ABC program offer students? And you asked what the acronym was. It's Alternative Behavior and Communication. In the ABC program, students can access the curriculum at their own pace. The pace may be significantly slower with alternative approaches to instruction, but the end goal is the same. Students are always working towards grade level instruction. For example, many of our students are working on ST Math at their grade level or working to learn sight words from the Salem School District K-2 sight word list. This instruction is specifically designed to meet each of their needs. The instruction may look different, but the goal is the same. Each student has a specialized plan and support set up to make participation in the regular education classroom successful. Some students may use social stories that they read daily to help them to develop the skills and scripts needed to predict a situation that may arise. Each student participates in the regular education classroom as it meets their needs. Some students within the ABC program currently participate in the regular education classroom for 95% of their day, while others are currently participating in the classrooms for 10% of their days. All students have goals to increase their time in the regular education program, and it truly depends on the needs of the student, but all students have access to the regular education curriculum as they work towards full inclusion. Within the ABC classroom, students participate in social skill and adaptive skill training. These are specific skills that are necessary for students to be able to communicate, as well as sustain behavior and attention within the classroom environment. There is an intensive therapy schedule within the program. Group OT and speech therapy are offered to students as part of the program, and small group or individual therapies are provided given specific student needs that are outlined in the IEP. The staff within the ABC program consistently collaborate with the district BCBA, that's Board Certified Behavior Analyst, and the specialists working within the program. Students and staff members working within, staff within the ABC program and classrooms are trained by the BCBA to implement structured learning trials and to collect data through the Catalyst program. The Catalyst program is an iPad app used to collect and synthesize data so that we can use that efficiently and effectively. Staff can use it to create reports, drive instruction, as well as share progress with families. Students in the ABC program participate in alternative specials like PE and music in order to be directly taught the skills necessary to understand the expectations. Additionally, these students participate in specials with their peers in order to apply the learned skills. Ultimately, the goal for all students is full inclusion. Within the ABC program, we teach skills, and we teach the skills that are necessary to get there.
In the fall of 2017, the Salem School District introduced the ABC program. ABC stands for Alternative Behavior and Communication Program. This program is intended for qualifying students in grades kindergarten through grade 5 on the autism spectrum. The program provides plenty of resources and supports for our students to thrive in a whole school community setting.
In a way to help the class to know the students who were not yet able to be in our classroom was we incorporated their pictures and their names in everything that we did. So if we had activities where we were learning each other's names at the beginning of the year, we had those students' names and faces as in pictures as part of getting to know the class. And so at the beginning of the year, the students that were not in the classroom, I shared with them, this is one of our friends that is not yet ready to be in our classroom, but when she is ready, you will see her.
I think the program has come a long way so far. It's the first year of the program, and from our goals from the beginning of the year, I feel like we've surpassed already and have been able to see students that we didn't think were going to be in the general education classroom, and now they're in there for circle time and specials and being able to interact with their peers and being part of that general education classroom, which is really important.
The first time that this student was really able to have a big experience with this other students was on the field trip. And when we got back from the field trip, we're coming down the stairs, and we're thinking that the ABC student was going to go into the ABC room and the rest of the class was going to come in the classroom. Nope, the student came right into our classroom with us for the very first time and stayed in here for 30 minutes.
When she's engaged and she's smiling and she will sign that she's happy. One day she spontaneously wrote on a picture she was drawing, she wrote the word happy. And you get that little glimpse inside. One day after a major meltdown, she got up and came over to me and hugged me. And you know, every once in a while she'll come and sit on my lap or want a hug, which is nice that she wants that connection. I think with students like this, the baby steps, the little victories are so incredible because you wait for them, and they're incredible. And it's been extremely rewarding for me to see what 6-year-olds are capable of in terms of understanding and tolerance and seeing things that might be confusing, but yet trying to understand them and trying to understand another person and really accepting this person as their classmate.
Every day is a completely new day, and that's the exciting part about teaching these kids, is that no matter what we do, no matter if we are having a very productive melodic day or a very productive rhythmic day, the students are getting so much out of this program and they're making connections all over the place. At the end of the year, I would love to see these children perform an authentic piece of music that would be on their level and something that they can find success with.
It really takes a willingness and a mindset on our staff to ensure the success of these students. They have to go above and beyond. They have to learn new strategies. They have to consult with our ABC teacher and really take these students on to be successful. They've done a wonderful job with it.
I spoke a little bit about the fact that some students have a singing voice or even have a speaking voice and other students do not. So I have to find a way to draw the music out of a child in a different way. So I have to think a little bit outside the box. I have to find what motivates the child, or a sound or a texture or an activity that motivates them to produce a response.
But we're all different, and we all, every single one of us, and that's something I say in this class, every single one of us has different needs and we have different abilities, and that we support each other no matter what our need is and no matter what our ability is.
Adaptive music is the level of excitement that these kids show where they might not be able to verbalize it with words. They're smiling, they're laughing, they're engaging, they're interacting with their peers when they otherwise might not even recognize that there's someone else in the room. They hear a song or they hear an excerpt and they know it's me. I start singing my hello song and they just know it's music time, and they sit and they follow the routine.
I think that the ABC program has not only supported the students that are in the program, but also have made the students in the other classrooms more aware of different abilities that students have, and they have become so accepting of the students and so excited to have them in their classroom. Fisk School has made a lot of growths this year by having the ABC classroom in their school. I think there's a lot of advantages of having an autism classroom in an elementary school as well, because when our students go to their general education classrooms, the students are accepting of their needs and understanding them and getting to learn more about them.
One of the things that has been wonderful about the program coming to Fisk is being able to see the genuine kindness of the students that are here in our building. They really are hoping for great success for these students, and they support them along the way.
My name is Sheila Sequeira. I'm Kyle's mother. He's in an ABC program, and I love that program. Kyle, he's doing fantastic.
I'm so thankful to be given this opportunity to spend time with these children, because not only does it help me to step back a little bit to the foundational skills to help my older students, but also to teach someone the joy of music and how music can influence life across the board.
Today, I'm so excited to see my friends and, play. He's 7 years old now, and then I saw a lot of progress. Kyle, he's doing so great at school, and then at home also. Communicating with the people, he's very socialized now. That's the most important thing. I'm expecting more and more every day with Kyle.
So that's the conclusion of the presentation. We'd like to entertain any questions that you might have.
Thank you, George. Good evening, and my apologies to the board for my late arrival, but I got in just before you started, so thank you very much. Board members who might have a question, and we'll start with Dr. Corbett.
Great, thank you. First, thank you very much. This was very informative, and I think as a board, we've been very interested in this program since it is our first year, and we've asked questions every now and then, so it was very timely. I'm glad you did it, and I'm also, again, I always thank any of our employees when you've kind of put that additional effort in to offer our children something that we really need. So I think that's great. A few questions, and I apologize if I missed it. How many children are in the program?
We currently have 5 students.
Okay. And then what do you believe the capacity could be? How many children could be part of the program?
Sure. I don't know if Allison, if you want to answer that question, or Chelsea, that.
The maximum would be 12.
Okay.
But at this point, we're
staffing would change and depending on needs.
So you're happy with 5, and that's good for me.
Yeah,
I'm just
we
curious.
need to consider all
Right.
those pieces.
And then I absolutely loved the adaptive music class. I think that was wonderful, and she's doing a great job, it appears. Do the children go to adaptive art and PE, or what other kind of experiences do they have throughout the day?
Yes, and I'll let Chelsea just share a bit about the adaptive.
Our folks at home aren't going to hear you unless you go to the podium, so.
So currently, we have adaptive music comes to our classroom, and then the students go to the gymnasium for adaptive gym, and then also for art as well. And we're kind of makeshifting an adaptive library time just to go get them and integrate them in the library and get them interested in books. It's not always their first choice, but getting them to know the school better too was our goal as well, so they go there as well.
Great, thank you.
All set.
I am, thank you.
Anybody else with questions? Mr. Carney?
Just real quickly, first of all, I think it's great that it's being incorporated within the school district, within the whole school. And it's just exciting to watch the other students, how they're learning from it as well. What's the staff to student ratio? We get a classroom teacher. Does each one of these students require a one-on-one aid?
It depends on the
You might as well stand up there.
It truly depends on the needs of the students. At some point, and you saw many staff members there, it depends on the time of the day. When we have students going into the classrooms, into the regular education classrooms, typically the student is with a paraprofessional, so it is a one-to-one paraprofessional at that point. But while in the classroom, there are students that can share the paraprofessional.
That was going to be my question.
So it really
was
depends.
one-on-one, so they went with the student
Into the classrooms.
Into the classroom.
So it depends on how often and what length of time they're in the classroom. They would require a one-to-one. Some students, and we're looking in the future that may not be. We may be able to share paraprofessionals as we integrate students more and more into the classrooms.
Thank you. And Mr. Rose, your love of education and passion for Fisk School makes you very qualified to be the spokesman tonight.
Anybody else? Mrs. Berry?
Yeah, Mr. Carney mentioned a couple things I was going to ask, but I also wanted to say about Mr. Rose. I remember very well that you present for the Fisk School in an excellent way, because I stole some of your speech from last year and reset it. with your permission, I quoted you in another speech I had to give someplace. So you do an excellent job representing Fisk School. And I just wanted to say that I think for the first year of this program, I think you've come a really long way. I'm really impressed. I didn't think that we'd be as far as we are with our achievements here. So it's really nice to see this, and I'm glad that you came in to present this to us. Thank you.
During the presentation, I heard reference to a software technology catalyst as and you mentioned that it allows you to structure programming and do some other things, but one of your comments said parental communication. Is there a piece of that then is accessible through our district portal for the parents or legal guardians of these students to see either some of those progress notes or the comments by staff? Is that part of that software capability?
At some point, we will be able to do that and access. We will have a way for us to communicate with parents through the actual Catalyst program. We're working towards that, and we're hoping to have that up and running this year.
Mr. Hasbany is a magician at
Yes.
getting some things done.
Yes, he's been very helpful.
I suspect that will come along then shortly.
Yes.
So the parents and legal guardians of some of these students will be able to have real-time access to some of the comment notes and progress notes that are actually being made by the staff that are interacting with them.
Correct, and the progress itself. Yes, it's graphed and very well organized.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mr. Morgan?
Yes. You featured one of the parents of one of the students in there. How common is it and how involved can the parents get in their students' education? Allison, they're going to send you back up here again. You showed an example of one parent who was at the school and involved in her child's program in education. How common is that? Do all the parents get that opportunity?
That parent came in for an interview with us. Chelsea's on a daily basis, she communicates with parents. So they are welcome to join the classroom and come in to visit just like any other parents would. At this point, you've had some parents come in for some, events or things like that, but it's not a typical volunteer on a daily basis. But that communication is daily back and forth. Do you want to share?
Yeah, we've had a couple parents, well, one in particular that's come on field trips with their student when they go with the general education classroom, and we keep a communication journal every day because a lot of the students can't communicate what they did during the school day, so we have that kind of communication, and then I'm usually in frequent contact with the parents, just talking about what's coming up, or Valentine's Day activities, or what we did in the classroom. So they're pretty invested in the classroom and in the general education classroom teachers, and with me as well.
They often too ask, what kinds of strategies we're using within the classroom that are working, and so that they can use that at home as well, use those same strategies, and that's been effective as well.
It seems it would be very beneficial to have the same type of activities and responses at home that you do in
Correct.
school and keep the parents involved.
Yes.
It looks like the facilities are working out pretty well too.
It is. The location has been great. At first, we were concerned about the restroom not being in the classroom, but we've made some accommodations and we're able to make that work.
That's good. It's a very
Yes.
impressive presentation. Thank you all.
And we have a wonderful staff, so I think that also adds to the success of the program.
All right. Dr. Delahanty, you usually have your own comments and questions.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Campbell. Mrs. Plant just mentioned the staff. And first of all, I want to acknowledge the Fisk staff. There's quite a number of staffers here in the audience, and it just is an indication that you care enough to be here. Tonight, you're supportive of your school, you're supportive of the school community, you're supportive of your kids, you're supportive of your families, and that matters. It matters a great deal. And I know you're kind of all over, so I don't want to just indicate right here. But that's really the key, that the entire staff has to be welcoming and inviting and treat everyone with dignity and respect and as though they matter. And I know that the Fisk School community treats kids and their families that way. And it's not just the staff, it starts with leadership. And Mr. Murray certainly sets the tone and the expectation. I also want to acknowledge Mrs. Bentley, the Director of Student Services, here this evening, and her leadership has mattered a great deal in how the program has progressed, as has the leadership of Mrs. Plant, setting the stage for the program and sort of structuring its roots. And then Chelsea, as a new staff member, a new teacher, being self-confident and willing to communicate so readily with parents and sort of help mold the program. We know that our goal is to keep these children in our district. We want to keep them here and have them interact with our own students. And that matters a great deal to their families, and it certainly matters to me. And I know it matters to the Fisk community. So for Chelsea and the support staff that works with her, and for Mrs. Plant and Mrs. Bentley, Mr. Rose for being here, Mr. Murray for his leadership, and to all of you, I know the board is very grateful for everything you do day in and day out, and I'm certainly grateful as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. And all the best for continued success with the program. So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much to the Fisk community, Mr. Murray, and for your staff. Congratulations. Outstanding. The board has other business to go on to, but we understand you have school tomorrow and staff needs to get ready. So now would be an opportunity for you to depart and head home and take advantage of that.